What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the FansToys Stomp X version, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale Sludge done in this metallic silver colors. So I actually did an unboxing for this a long time ago, and I just never did the review. I think I didn't do the review because I just didn't want to transform it, to be honest. I paid a lot for this figure. If you don't know, the X versions are limited edition. They only made so many of them. So the retail release price was actually the same as the regular versions. But because they made so few of them, they were hard to find. Later on, they became collector's items. Now they're, ridiculously expensive and hard to find. So I did pick this one up. This was the last one I found out of the X set. And this one is the hardest to find and the most expensive. I did pay over the retail for it, unfortunately. The rest I got either as gifts or found for decent prices, but this one definitely was hard to find. So I guess when I did the unboxing, I didn't want to transform it. Today we are going to transform it, though. What's the point in having toys if you're not going to play with them and transform them? Let's get in a little bit closer. And I would imagine nobody has done a review on this because nobody wants to transform it. But you got beautiful silver paint, blue accents throughout, which is different from the original. Black accents here on the shoulders. You got blue, silver, white, and red there. Nice details on the legs. Blue accents there. Here's the back. More of those blue accents you see. Nice chrome, silver chrome on the wings, which would become his back. The tail also is chrome, which we'll see in the dyno mode. It is all the same articulation, but let's go over it since it's been a long time since we looked at this guy. Head is on a rotating swivel, so rotates around, goes down to there, up to there. The hinge, the panel that it's on actually moves as well, so you can move that up and down. Good looking head sculpt. I can't remember if these are the alternate face sculpts or not. I think they are. I'm not 100% sure. Shoulders right around a ratchet joint. Out to the side, up to there. But then you can lift up on the shoulder to get it higher. So they have a built-in joint there. Rotation at the bicep. Signature to the elbow gets you 90 degrees. Rotation of the wrist. Individually articulated fingers. This is the old style fingers for FansToys. They're still good. They're just very blocky. They've gone to the more rounded off fingers. So thumb is on a ball joint, and then the fingers have 2 pins for articulation. And I've always liked those. I think they're fine. Sometimes they can get brittle, so depending on how it was stored, you do want to be careful with these older Dinobot hands just because they can be brittle. These aren't, but they can be. Rotation of the waist on a ratchet. No ab crunch. None of them had ab crunch, I don't think. Leg kicks up to there on a ratchet. It's very heavy. It does hold, but it's very heavy. Back to there. Out to the side on friction. And it does not hold. It's like so heavy. There's a lot of die cast down here. It holds a little bit, but then as soon as you give it a little bump, it falls down. Rotation of the thigh at a cut joint. Less than 90 at the knee, just basically up to there. We're continuing on to the feet. We have ankle tilts. I guess you have a knee bend here, but that's part of the transformation. Actually a toe tilt. It's not really an ankle tilt because it's just the toe that's moving. For the accessories, we get a blaster done in black plastic, gold, chrome, and translucent at the end. It does have a light up feature. I don't have batteries in any of these actually, but it does have a button right here. I'm not going to put them in, obviously. And he can hold the gun in the hands. Like I mentioned, for these older figures, you do want to be careful with the fingers. They can be brittle. I've had one, I think my Scoria was the one that was brittle. This one's fine. But beautiful looking gun. We had a red chrome sword with the outline in this darker red. It kind of has a gradient. It is different from the original. The original is just a shaded red. It doesn't have this outside part. And that can go in his hand as well. Some of these older figures, the swords don't hold that well. This one holds okay, but like Scoria never held well. But there you go. Looks good with those two weapons. They did a nice job on that. And then we get some alternate faces. We get a yelling O face, and we get a straight face. I think this was the original faces they had on it, and then they swapped it out and gave you this one. So, and you also have different color eyes. If you want the red eyes, you can have that. And to swap it out, you do have to take out the screws. So I'm not going to do that, but there is screws back here, and then you can slide the head off just to show you what they look like. Here are the three faces. Again, I prefer the face that I have on there, so nice to have the option though, and you can also swap the eyes to red on any of those faces. And for a size comparison, there he is next to the Magic Square Optimus Prime, and towers over him. I always like the size of the FansToys Dinobots. I think they fit in nicely. And for another size comparison, there it is next to the original version of FansToys Stomp, and you can see how much difference that silver paint makes. They also changed all the little silver accents to blue, as I mentioned before, and they slightly changed the color of this on the waist here. There's a little bit different color details in the wings too. You can see some metallic blues back there, but otherwise everything's the same. It's just obviously fully painted on the X version. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into Dino mode. And yes, I am going to transform it on camera. I checked out on YouTube. There are no videos for this guy at all, the X version, which I found strange. So for that reason, I am going to do it on camera. So go ahead and lift up the arm, rotate the elbow around. We're going to open up these claws, open up this little door for the hand, fold the hand in, close that back up, and then put the paws back together. All right, same thing on this side. All right, next we'll take care of the backpack and the head. So come to here, open up this panel. This will accordion down. I do have the head wrapped just so it doesn't get all, scratched up back here. So get these wings out of the way. We're going to pull this down. And like I said, I have it wrapped up. You may not have that in there. Come to here. This will fold down and sit like this in the cavity. You can close this up on top. Lift up these arms so they're kind of out of the way. And then we'll come to the back here, open up these wings. So they come to the front. On back here, you're going to open up this little panel. It is on a double hinge. Just be careful with this plastic. There's a double hinge there. And make sure that it bends on the right spot there. All right, I actually had a little trouble with that one. All right, so then you're going to take these, and before we close these, you're going to press down on these buttons, which will release the legs. So pull the thighs down on this joint right here. Just get them pushed down. Now we can close this up and close this up. Again, these are on double hinges, so make sure you bring them all the way in. Tab it in right here on the top. And then close this around this. And then straighten up the arms. And we'll bring the head up and the head will rotate. Bring the arms down. Rotate the feet so you have the two claws in the front. And that's how we should be looking in the front. Now we'll take care of the back. So for the legs, we're going to come to the back here. This one actually already came out, but it's basically unpeg this from here. Again, I've got some cloth to protect the tail here, but we're going to fold the tail out. I do have some styrofoam in here just because I've never transformed this. So believe it or not, this is the first transformation for this figure, so you're welcome. Accordion this out on a double hinge. We're going to open this up. You might need a spudger or something. So just set this down here and we'll open up this panel. Then we're going to fold out the foot, close up this panel, and then on the bottom of the foot, we're going to open up these toes. So bring out the double toes and then the single toes. Rotate that up. Over here, we're going to rotate the thigh around. And we're going to rotate the waist 180 degrees. All right, once you have the waist rotated, we can take care of this. So we're going to close up this panel here, and I'll set it down just so you can see. You want to make sure this is clipped in here like that, so you have a nice smooth surface. Don't bring this tail up just yet. You're going to extend here at the thigh, so pull down on this, make sure it's extended all the way. Then we're going to rotate here on the knee until this comes and meets up here. And it should come all the way down. If it doesn't, then you don't have this thigh piece folded down enough. So bring this in, and it should sit right there. On the back, you can just straighten up the leg. There's a slot right here and a tab on the back of the tail. So bring the tail up and get that tabbed in on the back. So it should look like that. And you can bring this down and tab that in there. All right, that's one side done. Go ahead and do the other side. It's exactly the same. I'll just stop at the point where we push them together. All right, now that we got both legs transformed, we can get them squeezed together. There's pegs all along here as well as on the bottom. So make sure those all line up. You want to make sure this is straight down on the bottom of the dinosaur. And then just start squeezing it together. Make sure the tails are lined up. And I like to go from the back to the front. Alright, there is Stomp X version in Dyno mode. It looks awesome. The silver paint really helps it stand out. Nice blue accents. Chrome over the top. Gold chrome for the head and the neck. These hip joints, and then on the backpack there, which were the feet. All that detail just comes out and looks great here in Dyno mode. The tail is a chrome, but it's like a more bluish chrome than the original. Overall, very good looking. Let's go over the articulation. Neck is on two joints here and here, so you get back to there, down to there. Head can go up and down on a ratchet. Mouth can open. We do have swap out eyes, I'll show you in a minute. Legs can rotate forward and backward on that ratchet, out to the side on a ratchet. Bend at the knee, both directions. The feet don't have any articulation at the feet. For the rear legs, rotation here, in and out on a ball joint, rotation at the knee, and toe tilts, but no articulation in and out on the feet. Tail has 2 points of articulation, so here and here, so you can waggle that much. We do get some accessories for this guy. We get some alternate eyes. So if you prefer the red eyes, you can pop up this panel here, and you'll see here's the blue piece that's in there already. You might need a spudger or something to pop it out, but go ahead and lift up that blue piece, swap it out for the red, and then replace the gold chrome, and now you've got red eyes. We can also use this googly eyes. So take out the red piece and blue piece, and then we're going to take this and tab this in there. Now we've got the googly eye, you know, being slammed by Devastator look. That's pretty funny. I think they were the first ones to do this, honestly. I don't think anybody else had this before them. I think FansToys started the trend, and now when we get a Sludge, this is one of the things you get. And for size comparison, there it is next to the MP10 Optimus Prime, and towers over him. Nice big Dyno mode for Stomp here. And for another comparison, there it is next to the original version of FansToys Stomp. And you can see again the paint difference. I actually like the color of this one. Just for the alt mode, I prefer the gray. I don't know what it is, but I like this coloration in Dyno mode, but I like this coloration in Robot mode. So final recommendations on the FansToys Stomp X version. You know what I'm going to say. This thing looks gorgeous. I'm going to either say 4 to 5. I'm going to recommend it. I think this is one of the best looking versions of Stomp, and really in any scale. Just the paint job, the overall sculpt. It's very, menacing looking, but yet it still captures the character. And I think FansToys, that's what captured people about FansToys, is they capture that cartoon, but yet they have this more adult or more muscular aesthetic, right? Kind of a mean aesthetic. And they've kind of lost that more recently. They don't have that kind of look. It's more cartoony. So this is from an era when FansToys was doing that, and it still stands up today. I still think this is one of the best versions of Stomp out there, period. Or Sludge, I mean. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.